Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my second Magic Online video. Hopefully you got the opportunity to watch the first one. I'm, of course, Cedric Phillips. Going to be joined by you wonderful people here this evening. It's a Thursday evening here in Seattle before I gear up to fly over to Atlanta for the SCG Tour Stop, the Atlanta Open weekend. But this isn't about Atlanta. This is not Felidar Guardian being banned. This video is about Amonkhet Limited to get everybody ready for Grand Prix Richmond. Now, the draft I did earlier this week that was published yesterday, which is a Thursday, of course, that was actually my pre-release, and it went pretty well. I won 2 matches, and then I timed out of my third one. Awkward, but we're going to try to do better this go around. I feel like I've learned a lot, done some more drafts in between that first one that you guys watched and the one that I'm going to be doing right now. So first things first, let's join a league. What do you want from me? You want 120 play points? You got it. Put me in this league, 4 in the queue. And I don't know, the last draft that I did when I was white-blue, I didn't think my deck was that good. Probably should have 3-0'd. Maybe I should have 2-1'd like I did, because I did win a pretty crazy game in round number 3. But we will see how this ends up shaking out here. This draft will fire in just a moment, and maybe these Aftermath cards are a little bit better than I gave them credit for in my previous draft. I don't know, but let's rearrange the window here so we can see some cards. And of course, Magic Online, why would you always have image issues? Why can't you ever just be correct? It doesn't make any sense. But we'll work our way through it. It's no big deal. It's okay. It's kind of annoying, but it's no big deal. Okay, so Soulscar Mage, that's your prowess 1/2, which gets a little bit bigger. Put some -1/-1 counters on some things as well. Not a bad card. Blood Rage Brawler, a card I've definitely been interested in this format. Leads to some very aggressive starts, which obviously I'm a big fan of. You've got the Mark. Target creature you control gains hexproof until the turn. Remove all -1/-1 counters from it. That's obviously going to be really good green-black if we can go that way. The question is, how high up the pick scale is that card? It's a very, very unique effect. Also, removing all the counters on something like the Hippo is a big deal. And then, of course, giving your creature hexproof to blow out a removal spell, which is something this format is not very plentiful in. So Cartouche Strength is a great green uncommon as well, but I'm kind of leaning towards the beatdowns here and the Blood Rage Brawler. I don't know. Cartouche is pretty safe. It's a really good card too. Boy. All right, I'm gonna take the Cartouche. That might be a coward's play, but I know how good that one is. Maybe I should take some more risk and try to figure out how good the other one is. But this card is obviously very, very good, even though it's lacking artwork. Here we go to our next pack here. We got a Dread Wanderer. This is a card some people do like my teammate for Grand Prix Cleveland, Joseph Gagliardi. I don't think I'm going to be moving that direction just yet, however. Black creatures, black creature spells are 1 less, and you get to drain whenever you cast a creature spell. That card's got to be pretty good. All these monuments seem to be pretty good, I must say. The Condu's not bad. Naga Oracle's not bad. I'm a big fan of Fanbearer. Really good white common. Not sure if I want to be the green-white deck or not, though. It's a really, really good. It's a really good Exert deck. Is green-white from my experiences. And then you've got the split here. Up to 3 target lands on a tap. I'm not that big of a fan of that. I don't think I want Bantu's Monument second pick. And maybe I like Fanbearer too much. I'm not sure. So I'm a pretty big fan of it. Pun was actually not intended. But actually, I think I'm going to stay on color and take this thing. So, give me the Ornery Kudu. Ooh, here we go. Black-green card. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible on the turn. Great effect. And then lead all creatures. Okay, so that's the Fog effect. The Green Monument's good too. And we are in green. Now this is interesting. Because, do we want to take this Monument here? I think is a very good question. I've had some decent experiences with it. It wasn't as awesome as I thought it was going to be, but that might just be, a small sample size, not an actual realization of how good the card actually is. White Trial's been pretty good from what I've seen. Emberhorn Minotaur is a card that's been pretty good from what I've seen. Giant Spider, kind of stinky. Strikes me as like a 23rd card in a lot of decks. I think this is an interesting kind of study here of, do you take the green-black split card? Because green-black is such a good color combination in this set. Or do you just take the Monument and try to go beatdowns here? And I think this is staying on color, so I'm going to do that and take the Monument and see what the next pack is going to yield here. Let me see if I can make these a little bigger for you guys so you can take a look at this, especially because we have less packs now. Okay, Merciless Javelier is kind of away from what we're doing, though I do think that card's pretty good. Electrify is definitely a premier common. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting too, because I do like green-white a decent amount in regards to it being an exert deck. Big creatures there, all that good stuff. But Bitterblade Warrior is a nice 2-drop for this deck. Obviously, it's a card that has exert, and it's a good attacker with Death Touch. Can work yourself through some kind of annoying creatures, and I think this is better than Top Crop Elite. The question now is it better to stay on color, or is it better to take Electrify, which is a card, obviously, that is good. I am going to try to stay on color here with Bitterblade Warrior. And just keep this green train rolling. Green may be the best color in this set. Now there is another green monument. Now, little interesting with the second green monument because it's legendary, but I still think that this card's very good. I still think you want, I don't want to say as many as possible in a green deck, but I don't think you're really going to ever turn one down. I'm not really interested in Greater Sandworm as far as non-color card is concerned. Not interested in owned Kopish or the Sun-Scorched Desert. I do kind of like some of these blue cards here. Like, I do think the Trial is really good. And there's a Battlefield, draw 3 cards, and discard a card. So this could be a reason to go into a different color now. There's a blue cartouche. It's very unlikely that it wheels. And Trial of Knowledge is definitely a premier card. Draw 3, then discard 1. It's a Sift. Or we could just take the Monument. Boy, it's really a question of how good do you think the Monument is, because we could get some bigger green creatures. They'll be on the cheap. My creatures that I'll have on the battlefield will be given beatdowns. I'm going to try this. I'm not going to say that's correct, but I'm going to try it. Okay. It's going to keep this green train rolling. The thing is, what's interesting about this is, ideally, we're going to get into a second color, and maybe that blue Trial was the time to get into a second color. Let's see what we got here. Failure to comply. Return target spell to its owner's hand. A little remand, unsubstantiated action. Choose a card name. Meddling Mage action. Okay. Enigma Drake, not so much. Not really what our deck is up to. River Serpent, not so much. So we're looking at a pack here with not a lot going on, and Dune Beetle is not exciting at all. So now, like, you know, I could take this Cradle, this Desert. It would make my deck, most likely. It would be a 1-of that makes my deck. Maybe probably replace being the 17th land, not replacing it, being the 17th land. And I think, boy, I think that's what I'm going to do. This is probably a bad pick, actually, but this is kind of interesting where this road's going to go, because I've been trying to stay on theme, on color with green, and maybe I was supposed to take the blue Trial. Let's see, return 2 second cards from your graveyard. Nah, Blighted Bat gains haste. That might be me moving into another color. Whenever you cycle or discard +1/+1, that might be me moving into another color. Now remember, this is whenever you cast a creature spell. So I'm going to want to have a high density of creature spells now because of these green monuments, just to be able to keep making my creatures bigger and giving beatdown. So maybe a red-green deck lends itself to be best for this particular effect. And if that's the case, I think I'm going to take a 2-drop and see what happens if we go this direction. Now, I could switch out of this. Like, this is a good card to help me switch out of it. The one thing I've noticed about this set, a lot of 3-mana spells in my experiences thus far. Even Initiate's not so bad. Gideon's Intervention I'm not really interested in. No art, by the way. Red Crop Spearmaster, I do think is a good card. I do like green-white as a color combination. I've already kind of expressed that. I do like it as kind of the exert deck, or one of the better exert decks. So I am kind of drawn towards this particular card. I could get away from this red card here, the Nimble Blade Kenra, or I could go towards the Even Initiate. But now, you know, because I've passed that Trial, not entirely sure. I'm just going to take this white card right now. Let's go over here. Okay, the Mark. I don't know, this card seems good to me. Target creature can attach proof on the turn, remove all -1/-1 counters from it. It's obviously at its best in green-black. Now, if we are going to go this exert route, or if I want to go this green-red route, I believe the Monument is good, then I should be taking this Minotaur. I don't have any 4-drops. It makes sense to be in the deck. It's obviously going to be really good with the Monument and exerting it. So let me take the Minotaur here, and we're going to see if red is actually open or not. Violent Impact is a card I have been pretty happy with thus far. Destroying an artifact is a real thing in this set. Destroying a land, I don't think so much. Obviously, it could come up, and cycling means that might not matter. So I could take that card. I could also look towards a blue 2-drop. I still don't really care about Bantu's Monument. Perhaps I am underrating this card. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm overrating it. Maybe it's just not good at all. But I'm going to take Violent Impact, a.k.a. Lay Waste. Cartouche of Zeal, what are you? Your target creature can't block, and +1/+1 it has haste. Okay, single red, not a bad card. Could be really good in a very hyper-aggressive deck, or if we do get any, if if we do get any trials of the red and green variety. So I'm going to go here because I think it's probably the best card that's left. Bloodlust Insider doesn't do a lot for me personally. It might be better than I think, but I have a better feeling this card's good. However, not entirely sure how much discarding and or cycling I'm going to have here. This will be the first blue card I take. I'm probably going to get cut blue the other way, so I'm actually going to take the on-color red card. There's a chance it makes my deck. I'm going to take Sunscorched Desert. Nah, I'm going to take Ancient Crab, actually. I'm going to take Seeker of Insights, and I'm going to get a basic land here in just a moment. And I am not thrilled with where my deck is at right now. Maybe I should be happier because I do have 2 green monuments. I don't know. This card strikes me as a very good card. Maybe it's not a premier uncommon. Maybe it is. I did not see a lot of green past these 3 green cards. That's worth mentioning. Now, I think at this point, a lot of people realize that green is one of the best colors in the set. So, there's a real chance here that I don't get a ton of green cards back or see a ton of green cards in this draft. Plague Belcher is a good card. That's a good card. For sure. And I'm kind of drawn towards that card. Let me see you. There's the battlefield. Put 2 -1/-1 kind of star creature you control. Whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses life. Even Wingard in our last draft that we saw, that card was awesome. Trial of Strength. You get a 4/2. I've got 2 cartouches. Now that card's probably pretty good. I've got Cartouche of Strength and I've got Cartouche of Zeal. 4/2 for 3. There's Ornery Kudu. Naga Vite. Wow. A lot of good green cards here. These cards down yonder, Painful Lesson, Violent Impact, Mountain, not so much. Even Hyena Pact is a card, if I'm going to be a green-red deck, that's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to take this Plague Belcher. I'm going to have to hide some of these cards here in just a minute. I think I'm going to take Trial of Strength. I guess, is Trial of Strength better than Ornery Kudu when you already have 2 cartouches? I think the answer is yes, with the potential to get more of them. So let's try this. It's a learning process. That's brand new. New perspectives, not so much. White Trial, sure. Also white cartouche, also blue cartouche. Okay. Well, Vizier Tumbling Sands untaps a permanent, even Initiate. We know what you do. Blighted Bat, we know what you do. Not a big fan of Giant Spider this early in the draft. Winged Shepherd, it's just okay. It's not a very good card to me. Still kind of have to decide what our second color is gonna be because we have not really made that decision yet. So we gotta kind of start to work our way into this decision, I think. I'm not a hater of Trial Solidarity, but I haven't seen many white cards yet. There is Compulsory Rest. I'm just not that big of a fan of this card in this set in my limited experiences thus far. Boy, decent blue cards staring back at me here in Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Maybe I'm just supposed to yank that up. It's a tough pick. I'm going to yank that up. Got to figure out where I'm going to go. Approach of the second Sands. Get out of here. Second Trial of Solidarity. I've had decent experiences with that card. Some good, some bad. What are you? You're Onward to Victory. Yeah, that's a good card right there. I'll tell you what. That's a good Magic card. Now this White Trial makes me kind of want to... I'm jumping around a little too much, I think. Winged Shepherd, Seeker of Insight. I really don't think that blue is all that open. It seems, I mean, I could have 2 white trials, but now I'm getting to the spot where I just don't have very many creatures. I need to really kind of correct that if I want these green monuments to be any good. I also need green cards to make these green monuments any good, and it would be weird to move out of this right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take Trial of Solidarity. Regrettably, kind of wish I had the one. I don't know if we want 2 of those, though. But I'm going to take Trial of Solidarity, and we're going to keep kind of going down this weird path of trying to figure out where we're going to go. The one thing I don't think I am color-wise is black. I just don't think that I should have been there. Maybe I'm very wrong about that. True Heart Twins is interesting. Let's see what Embalmer's Tools does. Activate abilities of creature cards in your graveyard cost 1 less. Tap and untap zombie you control. Target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Sure. True Heart Twins is a card I know that's pretty good. Let's take a look at Flameblade Adept, 1/2 Menace. When you cycle or discard, +1/+0. Blazing Volley is super medium. Hooded Brawler is actually pretty good. I think I'm happy with True Heart Twins, however. Good uncommon. Let's go there. Make sure, Gift of Paradise, that's not really what this deck is doing. Hooded Brawler I'd like to have. Wouldn't have a problem with. I got to get out of the blue. This Vizier was a bad pick, I think. Vizier, whatever. Give me a True Heart Twins. See how that goes. All right, another Emberhorn Minotaur, another Fan Bearer. Now we have this kind of weird thing where are we green or are we white? Because I feel like we're getting solidly into red. Now there's also the Top Crop Elite. Now I can't be everything. I can't be a Naya deck. That's nonsense. I do know that Emberhorn Minotaur is a heck of a card, no doubt about it. Naga Vitalist, also a really good card, and then a Fan Bearer too. So I am leaning towards Emberhorn Minotaur. I've just had a lot of really good experiences playing with it, and I've had some bad experiences playing against it, as in it's been really good against me. Strikes me as a good card. Strikes me as a very good red common, so I'm going to go here. Okay, by force, not so much. A Catcher's Monument has been really good for me. It really has been. This is weird. It feels like I'm working my way into white-red. It really does. I haven't seen any green cards. Now, another interesting thing is how good are these monuments if they're just kind of random off-color things? In this kind of high-powered exert deck, they might actually be really good. But I'm also looking at a Catcher's Monument, which I've had some success with, even though this doesn't exactly feel like an Catcher's Monument deck. I think I'd rather just have the Spearmaster and go that way, so that's actually what I'm going to take it. I think it's safer than a lot of the other things here. And the white cards are kind of coming right now. They're really kind of coming. So I'm going to take that. Sparring Mummy, a card I absolutely adore in this set. It's been very, very good for me. I have a lot of Exert cards. It's obviously going to remove the drawback from Exert, so I'm likely going to move that way. I'm going to take a look at Thresher Lizard really quick. That's not Thresher Lizard's artwork. It's +1/+2 as long as you have one or fewer cards in your hand. No, I've had so many good experiences with the Mummy. I don't want to call it White's best common because I think that's a little hyperbolic, but I do think it's a really, really good card. So I'm going to take Sparring Mummy. And these white cards are going to keep coming along with these red cards. Okay, Kefnet's Monument, not so much. Cartouche of Zeal, it's okay. Not really exactly what the doctor ordered here. Now, Cartouche of Zeal is probably not bad. I don't think it's a bad card or anything. I do wish I had another white trial. I'll say that. That would be nice. And you know, this is another cartouche for my green cartouche if I end up staying green. I've got this weird balance right now where I'm trying to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I think Cartouche of Zeal is the card that I want, so that's the card I'm going to take. Okay. All right, this is a... boy. Okay, so this is a red 2-drop. Prowess triggers off cartouches and things, and monuments and everything like that, so that's good. I think this is going to be a 2/4, a decent amount in my deck, potentially more than that. Ornery Kudu, it's really like the only green card I've seen. Not really excited about that at all. So, meh. I think I'd rather take the 2-power creature and get, you know, that in my curve. The rest of these cards I don't really care all that much about, so let's get this in the deck. Pathmaker's Initiate has wrong artwork. This is fun, isn't it? Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. More importantly, it's just a 2-drop to get this ball rolling. So I want that. 2 mana, 2/1. Okie dokie smoky. Give me that one. None of those blue cards are all that interesting to me. Yes! This is good news. So, I thought there was a decent chance that Onward to Victory could lap, and it did. I think this card's actually quite good. So, Onward to Victory is the card I'm definitely going to take, and this signifies to me that White-Red is open, and this card strikes me as a very good card. So, Blazing Volley, not so much. Embalmer's Tools, not so much. I mean, Blazing Volley's fine. I'm not excited about it. But Forsake the Worldly is a card I like, and I like main decking this format, so I'm going to take that. We'll put that in the deck. Heckma Sentinels, sure. I'll select that one and hide it. Compelling Argument, not so much. Into the board. And it looks like, folks, it's going to be time to hide these green cards. I'll take this Grasping Dunes. I'm actually going to hide both of these Deserts for now. And I'm going to hide these green cards a little bit. I'm going to keep the green monuments, though, because there is a chance. It says whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample in a turn. That's good with these stupid Exert creatures. It's good. Let's see. Shadow in the Grave? Nah, not you. Don't need a third green monument, that's for sure. Gravedigger? Not you. That card's got to be good in this format, though. Impeccable Timing, I'm not all that impressed with. Supply Caravan, 5-mana spell. Might want 2 of those in my deck. Minotaur Sure Shot. 3 mana, 2/3. Reach. It's +1/+0. That's just a good common. Nothing wrong with that card. Not exciting, just good Magic card is just kind of the easiest way to look at that. I've got some 3s. I could use another 3-drop creature. I could use just more creatures in general if I want to make like these off-color monuments good, which I think I might want to do. And Reach could be relevant here from the Sure Shot. I think it's very realistic that the Supply Caravan does table, or we could find a different 5-drop for our deck. And I don't really have a lot of interest in Impeccable Timing or anything else here. So, and I think it's also possible that if we do want Pursue Glory, that card does come back. So I'll take the creature, fill the curve. Vizier Many Faces is obviously a good card, but it's not here for my deck, so no reason to really put a lot on that. I am taking a look at Pathmaker's Initiate. Unfortunately, like none of these uncommons are what I'm looking for. Baleful Emmet is really good, by the way. Heck of a card. Those Who Serve would fit the curve, obviously, but there's a real chance that just wheels. I don't think I need to go that direction. So I think I go the direction of Pathmaker's Initiate, which, as a second pick in Pack 3, not very exciting. No doubt about that. However, with the monuments, I think the text could be relevant here as well. And I think more than anything, I got a deck here that just kind of wants to get the ball rolling, just start attacking. This is going to be a pretty aggressive deck, I think. And I think the monuments are what's going to help be able to continue to push through damage, especially with the fact that it gives trample. +2/+2 is nothing to ignore, but I think the trample is going to help here too. So I'm going to go with the Pathmaker's Initiate. And I'm really going to put an onus on kind of taking creatures at this stage, I think. I think that's where I'm going to be at for a lot of the draft. Let's see what we got here. Another Mark. Anointer Priest. Not all that exciting. Now, one thing also to keep in mind, too, is I do kind of weirdly have these 4 green cards here, and I could go back that direction. Like, right now, Bitterblade Warrior is something that I'm much more excited about than... I'm much more excited about Bitterblade Warrior than I am about Desert Ceradon. Not that Desert Ceradon's bad, and I'm not excited about Anointer Priest either. Now, Anointer Priest is a card that could obviously fit into the curve, but you know, if I move these white cards, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, theoretically 6. I could play the front half of that. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 back that are green, that are relevant, and I'm losing 3. I'm losing 1, 2, 3, 4 3-drops, and getting 3 3-drops back. So I'm gonna gamble because like this white and red card just don't really interest me. Bitterblade Warrior does interest me, so let's get that back in there. Okay. Fling is a little something. My creature should be pretty big. I do miss out on the Sparring Mummy. Let's try this. Let's clickety-clackety-clue. Moving this here. Get a Cartouche, get another 2-drop, get a Kudu, get a Trial of Strength. Not so bad. Now I'm staring Top Crop Elite right in the face, so I might go back to the white cards, and that's fun. I could take another 2-drop here in the Elite, but I don't think I want to do that. Giant Spider I have virtually no interest in, which is a little bit annoying. Fling I do have some interest in. I think there's a chance that Fling just wheels, though. It's a card that is for a very specific type of deck, I feel, in this format. I lose 5 green cards. I gain 5 white cards, so that's an even trade. And I think I'd rather have the Elite. Maybe I'm undervaluing Ceradon. Maybe I should be valuing that a little higher. You know what? I'm going to take Ceradon, actually. Let's value that a little higher. Ugh. No! Card's really good. Can't play it. It's really good, though. Pouncing Cheetah's not bad. That's a good card to have around. On-Crop Champion's a really good card. I had this in my green-white Exert deck when I was drafting a couple days ago, and it was really, really good for pretty obvious reasons. Good power to toughness for casting costs, relevant text, it's basically everything you want. I think Pouncing Cheetah is where I'm going to go, however. This will give me another creature. It's going to bring it up to 14. Obviously going to be a little cheaper with the Monument, which is nice. Can trick the opponent a little bit, and then I don't think I need a Naga Vitalist for this deck. So let's go to the Cheetah. Consuming Fervor. Good card. Interesting card. For what my deck is trying to do, probably a good card. My deck is trying to be relentlessly aggressive. That's what we're going for here, making blocking difficult with Cartouches and Monuments. Like that's the whole goal of this bad boy. So Consuming Fervor, I think, is going to have some relevant text here. This is a good card in this format. It's an interesting color-shifted card, too, by the way. So let's get that one in there. I think that's where we're going to go. Bloodlust Insider is a really interesting card to me, too, by the way, because giving a creature haste, like getting a couple hits in and giving a creature haste, I think that's very real with this kind of deck. So I'm going to take the Fervor. Ooh. Another, oh boy, another Fervor. Jeez. Another copy of Onward Victory. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Onward to Victory is probably not going to lap. Boy, that is interesting. Because that card's got to be good in red-white. It just can't be bad. So to see that, and the fact that I can have 2 of these? Plus X plus so-and-so on a turn where X is its power? Boy, that's a tough call. You know that Fervor is going to be in your deck, and it's going to be good. I think this is the safer card to take. I think it's a really good card, too. That's an interesting decision, though. Endeavor's is also a trick. Not excited about it. You can tell probably in the sound of my voice. It is a trick, though. I think they resolve. Well, I'm red-green now, but Pursue Glory isn't something that I need. And I don't really need any of these other cards either. I could just randomly D up like a Lay Claim. But Lay Claim, in theory, Lay Claim should never be relevant given what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to snipe this thing because this thing could be kind of annoying. Just get that out of here. Gale Strike, return target tap creature with its own hand, peel a card. Pretty good card, actually. Instant speed. Good trick for blue. Supply Caravan, not so much. It did wheel like I thought it was going to. Not much of a surprise. I mean, it's not an elite common. It's a fine card. You're not going to be unhappy to play it, but it's not anything special. Pursue Glory is interesting because it is a cycler. I'm going to take Supply Caravan, though. It's funny because I might jump back to red-white again, which feels like I'm kind of all over the place, and I kind of am. But it's been a weird draft. Maybe I've read the table poorly. I'm not sure. I'm going to take Those Who Serve. Let's see. Ancient Crab's somewhat annoying. It's just got a big butt. It's going to be in my way if I'm trying to give beatdowns, so I'm going to select this one. Nice. So, Fling and a 2-drop. And, again, I'm putting this huge priority on creatures because of what my deck is trying to do. And this is going to be a 2-4, I think, a lot of the time. Though I think Fling... You know what? I'm going to take Fling because I think it's a unique enough effect that I want to find out just how good it is in this style of deck. That's why I'm going to take that card. Violent Impact, sure. Could sideboard another one. Bloodlust Insider, and then here comes the... It would be fun. It would be funny if this is the last card. I did not think it would be. Trying to judge the Aftermath cards, I think, is a real experience here in this format. I definitely think that Onward to Victory in a good red-white deck is a very good card. I did not have a lot of white cards. I could have selected another bird, the Exert Bird. I could have added that to my deck, and you know that would have fit in to what I was doing. But this is a real this is kind of an interesting situation because I feel like I have this really hyper-aggressive white-red deck. I don't think this deck is elite or anything. Or excuse me, I have a hyper-aggressive red-green deck. It could have been a hyper-aggressive red-white deck. I think that red-white work well together, and this is great in that style of deck. That this much is very obvious. But this also has kind of thrown me for this weird loop. But this might just be a really good red-white uncommon, even though it's obviously green-centric. So I think it's interesting, actually. I really do. And it's funny, too, because I'm looking at these white cards still, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, maybe I'm supposed to be there. Maybe I'm supposed to have these white cards in my deck. Now, let's do some cuts as we do some deck building here. Supply Caravan, because I'm not really in these colors, is going to go. I think that both Violent Impacts are going to go. Those Who Serve is going to go, because this is me building a red-green deck right now. Got these Consuming Fervors, which, this card's got to be good. I just would be shocked if it wasn't good. I would be truly surprised if it was a bad card. Now, the interesting thing here is I want to have as many creatures in my deck as possible to trigger this as often as possible, or as much as reasonably possible. I will say that. Now, the other thing to note, and I keep looking at these green cards, and it is nice to have stuff like this. You know, I have 6 2-drops. I have some good 3-drops. Nothing great, I don't think, but I have some good 3-drops. Cartouche Strength is really good. Trial of Strength is really good. But if I make the switch, if I get these green cards and I say, get out of here, I don't care about you, and I grab these white cards and I say, Sparring Mummy, you're an elite common in my deck. Trial Solidarity, you are an elite common. You're an elite uncommon in my Exert deck. And I grab these guys, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at 14 creatures. which I wish I had at least one more. I could play, you know, the Moo Cow and get rid of another creature because I don't think I want two of these. You know, I'm down to 14 creatures. Wish I had more. I have good spells, in my opinion. I've got these monuments that, you know, obviously need creatures to be turned on. I've got these, but my deck is relentless. It feels like to me. It feels like a relentless attacking deck. I've got these cartouches, which in theory should make blocking difficult. Maybe some surprise attacking. My creature's gonna get huge and be able to work some damage through. Fling is a great finisher. I've got 4 2-drops in addition to Fling. I've got 1, 2. I've only got 3 2-drop creatures, so it almost makes me want to play those who serve, because I would rather have a card like that than a card like this, I believe. So I do that. Let's bring the old spear fella down here. I do really want, I want a 15th creature so bad for these monuments, so bad. I also love starting this card. It's been very, very good for me. I got 23 as it stands right now. This could be a 16-land deck. Maybe that's a little bit greedy. Not entirely sure. And it's tough to count Ceradon as a creature too, by the way, because it's 6 mana. Boy, I think, is this deck better than the green deck? That's the question you gotta ask. Are these white cards better? Because if I do this is interesting. I get 2 more 2-drops. I get another trial. I get a 3rd cartouche for my trial. So bringing back green trial is going to be easy. I'm going to get a cheetah, and I'm going to get a Kandu. It's an antelope, it's not a cheetah. I got 13 creatures. You count trial strength as creatures, 14 creatures. So same problem, but trial doesn't trigger this. So kind of the same issue. 23 cards, that's all well and good. It almost, it's weird, right? It almost feels like the same deck. So now, okay, and so now we're the question you have to ask yourself is which deck has the higher power level? You know, I've got this Onward to Victory in my deck where I can't cast the second half of it in this red-green deck. I can in my red-white deck, and that actually I think matters. I think that's actually a real thing. And I'm looking at these, you know, I'm looking at some good Exert cards. Trial Strength strikes me as a good card. I have 3 cartouches. Pretty obvious that it's good. That's a combination you like. You like the Monument, the fact that it kind of lowers the casting cost of the green cards, but not in a way that matters. And you like Cartouche Strength because it's a premier green uncommon. So there are some cards to like here. But I look at those white cards, and I see a very aggressive deck, a deck that really takes advantage of the inability to block, really takes advantage of the Trial of Solidarity, really takes advantage of Sparring Mummy better than... It feels like the power level of that deck is higher, in a weird way, than this green-red deck. It really does. So, against my better judgment, I'm going to go over here. It also makes this card much better, too. So, against my better judgment, I'm going to grab these 2 Ret Crop Spearmasters. I'm going to grab this Trial of Solidarity. I'm going to grab this Supply Caravan. I'm going to grab the Mummy. I'm going to grab those who serve. And I'm going to wish I had Forsake the World in my deck, and I probably should have that card in my deck. 16 lands a little bit riskier than I think I need to be, though. Because I do have, I've got 3 4s, 2 5s, and things to do with my mana. This will probably get sideboarded in a decent amount. Good card in this format, no doubt about it. But this is the way I'm going to go, and I'm going to see how it works out. And there's a real chance that I sideboard in green cards. So let's add some basics. Magic Online says 11-6. What does Ced think? Ced thinks that Magic Online's pretty darn close to being correct. 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, I only need 1 plains to function. I only need 1 mountain to function too, though. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. That will not come up all that much. It'll come up more here. That's for rootin' tootin'. Won't come up that much. We'll see how that card plays. Obviously going to come up here. It's an interesting card. Okay. Let's get this thing built, and let's get to those matches so you guys don't have to hear me ramble anymore. 11-6. I'm going to trust Magic Online. Big mistake. Add to deck. It is added to the deck. We are ready to rock and roll. Curious what you think. Should I be red white or red green? We might interweave them during our games, but for now, that's my deck, and we're gonna get ready here for round number 1 of this Amonkhet Draft League. Just a sec.